Little light is shining through the window, lets me know everything's alright. Summer breeze makes me feel fine, blowing through the jasmine in my mind.
Welcome back. Going to do another song breakdown today. And this is a real special one for me, as I know it will be for many of you. What can you say about Summer Breeze? It's one of those magical songs that never fails to put us into a happier place for those brief few minutes that we listen to it. I was just 6 years old when this song was first released as a single in August of 1972. The duo's fourth studio album followed in September of that year. So it's always been there for me. I literally can't imagine a world in which Summer Breeze didn't exist out there in the ether, ready to pop on the radio at an opportune moment and lift my spirits. Now, sadly, as many of you will be aware, Crofts passed away very recently, a month ago to the day as I record this. And of course, we lost Jim Seals back in 2022. So maybe we can look at this little video as my small tribute to the two men who gave us this little gem and are no longer with us. Summer Breeze reached number 6 on the Billboard Hot 100. Should have been a number 1 in my opinion, although back in 1972 there was so much amazing pop music around. I guess the competition was fierce. By the way, in case you haven't heard it, there's also a great version by the Isley Brothers released in 1974. I guarantee you someone's going to come in the comments telling me that the Isley Brothers is the superior version. And hey, fair enough. It's very cool. I love what they did with it. Very creative in taking it to a new place. This is played in a much more relaxed pace. This is part of an extensive intro they tacked on. Now there's the riff we all know and love, but listen underneath that ostinato. I'm gonna talk about where that came from later. Great stuff, but I have to say, for me personally, the original is the one I grew up on. It will always be my favorite. And speaking of, let's break that one down. Great acoustic intro. That's E minor to A minor 7. I love the sound of this theme here. We're going to talk about how they got that effect. Already a key change going into the verse. And when this chorus kicks in, is it not the aural equivalent of a summer breeze on a warm day? Just beautiful. About that high harmony. That guitar riff there. What a tone. So as mentioned, the song starts with a distinct minor feel, E minor to A minor 7. And then this great melody. I see that as just sort of outlining an E minor 7 arpeggio. Root, flat 3, flat 7, 5th. Then we get a 4. We get a 2. Great little part. Now I mentioned it's a very unusual sound there. They used multiple instruments layered to get that effect. I guess they started with a toy piano. Then they put on a Steinway piano, but with gaffer tape applied to the strings to mute the sound. And then multi-layered electric guitars, supposedly played by Louis Shelton, who was the song's producer. I love that sort of playful studio experimentation, things like putting tape on the piano strings to alter the sound. I think that attitude was really pioneered by the Beatles in the 60s. And in 1972, I think the influence was still going strong in popular music. Now, I want to look at the verse next. I had talked about the key change. That intro, E minor to A minor, really sets up a pretty somber mood. But as soon as the verse kicks in, we get an abrupt modulation into E major. G, D, A, right? Now, we need to talk about that because it's a little more complicated than just saying we're in E major now. Because the next couple of chords, G and D, are not in the key of E major. I think what's going on here is what we call cycling around the circle of fifths. In music theory, we have something called the circle of fifths, which you're seeing now. It shows all 12 keys in music arranged in a circle. You'll notice C is on the top of the circle. And if you go clockwise around the circle, each successive key is the fifth of the previous. So starting from C on top, the next key is G. Well, that's the fifth of C. That's followed by D, which is the fifth of G, which is followed by A, the fifth of D, and so on, all the way around. And so once he's established the E major, he really just kind of goes away from it and starts cycling around that circle. From E, he moves up a minor third to G, but then it's all fifths, right? G, D, A, E. So he gets about a third of the way around the circle. Chords like to move in fifths this way. And let me show you something else I really love here. I'm going to play through the verse. See the curtains hanging in the window in the evening on a Friday night. So cool. On night, the melody lands on G sharp. That's the major third of the E chord. Night. And then when it switches to the A minor 7, that G sharp becomes G, which is the flat 7 of the A minor 7. And the melody reflects that. You hear it? Night. So cool. And then the chorus hits. Another modulation. We go up a minor third again, this time to key of G. It goes A minor 7, summer breeze, B minor 7, back to A minor 7, and finally to the G. And I love what happens here. We get G, G7, G6, back to G, and rhythmically a great use of what we call syncopation. He hits those chord changes on the upbeats, holding over the downbeats. Listen. You have to listen closely on the recording, but it's really effective. All right, let's listen to the chorus again, but a couple of things I want you to listen for. Notice at the end of the verse, lets me know everything's all right. We do not get that vocal dip or the chord change, right? He doesn't go right as he did the first time. He hangs on that G sharp. The chord stays on E major. And to me, this subtly signals the fact that we're moving into the chorus. Now, also listen to the wonderful high harmony in the chorus. It's a great example of oblique harmony. The low part moves, the high part stays steady on its note.
Lets me know everything's alright. Summer breeze makes me feel fine.
Okay, here comes the oblique harmony.
The jasmine in my mind.
And there's that amazing sounding guitar lick again. I'm not exactly sure how they got that sort of grainy, compressed tone on that guitar lick, but just poking around online, it looks like there's some speculation that they might have run that guitar direct. Now, for those who aren't familiar, let me explain what that means. Normally, if you're recording a guitar in the studio, you're going to plug it into an amp and then mic the amp. But if you're going direct, you plug the guitar straight into the mixing board. So perhaps they used some sort of fuzz pedal and went direct. I'm not sure. Maybe some of you gearheads out there might have some more insights. Another thing I really love about pop music from this period, you really get the sense that the writers and performers were trying very hard to keep the listener engaged. They're constantly adding new little bits, sometimes subtle things that keep it all more interesting. So after the chorus, we go back to the main intro theme. But very faintly underneath, we hear what sounds like another guitar, maybe a palm-muted guitar, outlining an E minor triad, something like this. And that, I think, is where the Isley Brothers got that cool, almost Asian-sounding riff in the intro of their version. Do you remember it? Obviously, they've slowed it down a bunch and even changed a note. It's now root, flat 3, and 4. But I really like it. They took what was a very minor element of the original and fleshed it out into something very significant in their own intro. And then there's the bridge, which is another lost art in modern pop songwriting. A great bridge can lift a song up to a whole other level, and that's exactly what this one does. Note when this kicks in, it just soars here. Love the addition of the saxophone there. Apparently that's Jim Seals. That bridge is so brief, but it's exactly what you needed there, just what the doctor ordered. Now, why does that bridge sound so exciting? I think it's the use of 11th chords. We get a D11. These chords always have a sort of tension to them. And then to an E11. And I come home from a hard day's work, right? And ending with a B11. Beautiful chord, once again, filled with tension and just begging to resolve back to E major again for the final verse. And speaking of that final verse, remember what I said earlier about how these guys are constantly adding something fresh to keep it interesting. Listen for this beautiful harmony vocal that gets added this time. It was not present on verses 1 or 2.
See the smile waiting in the kitchen, food cooking on the plates for two.
And of course, this channel isn't just about the music. I love to talk about lyrics as well. And I'm a huge fan of these. It's just a perfect little ode to cozy domesticity, which, I hate to keep sounding like this, but I don't think you would ever see a hit pop song written on this theme today. It just seems unthinkable. Apparently the song was written by Jim Seals, but he shared credit with Crofts, which I thought was quite nice. I love all the little mundane details he includes. See the curtains hanging in the window in the evening on a Friday night. A little light a-shining through the window lets me know everything's all right. The newspaper lying on the sidewalk. The music gently drifting over from next door. The plates for two. It's just really sweet. There's no other way to describe it. And then there's that chorus with one of the greatest lines ever. Summer breeze makes me feel fine, blowing through the jasmine in my mind. I mean, what a beautifully poetic way to describe that wave of nostalgia we get from something as simple as a scent that we haven't experienced for many years. Now, for those of you who are a bit more literary minded, you may be familiar with In Search of Lost Time by Marcel Proust, in which the main character's memory is triggered by a Madeleine cake dipped in lime blossom tea. He experiences this scent after many years, and it ignites a flood of memory, brings him straight back to his aunt's house that he used to visit when he was a child. Nothing can do this like a scent. I remember reading somewhere that scent is the most primal of the senses, and I think that's why it affects us so strongly. I know for me, jasmine can take me right back to my childhood. If I'm walking through the neighborhood and I get a whiff of it, I'm instantly transported back 50 years. I'm standing under the streetlight on a summer night with my friends, listening to music and messing around. It's really something else. Now, a moment ago I said nothing can do this like scent, but perhaps I should amend that. I think music is right up there in its ability to unlock memory, and this song is a perfect example. Right from the opening strains, anytime I hear this one, I'm transported back to my childhood. And I suspect many of you will have your own vivid memories associated with Summer Breeze. So of course I want to hear about them. I know a lot of the people that watch this channel are older than me, so you probably have some more adult memories that you'd like to share. Anyway, as always, thanks for hanging out to the end. This one was really fun. Just a reminder, financial contributions are huge. You can do that through Buy Me a Coffee. I've got even a couple of viewers who are doing a regular monthly contribution. You can set that up there in any amount you'd like. Or you can do, of course, a one-time contribution. There's also Venmo, PayPal, Zelle, plenty of options. All right, talk soon.